Tonight, we shall be hearing a very spooky story. It is a story about a lone samurai who lost his sushi roll. Like any good horror story, it started on a very windy, spooky day. The samurai was warming his backside and his sushi roll next to a small fire he started, when suddenly the wind blew and he heard a very strange sound. He went to this man and he said, "Sir, did you hear that?" But the man did not answer. So the samurai decided to, well, first he decided to grab this because it was right there, and then he said, "You know what? I don't remember what I was doing, but I'm kind of hungry. I think I'll grab my what? Where's my sushi roll? Someone has taken this from me. They shall feel the wrath of my blade." And so started the samurai's long and strenuous quest to figure out who had taken his sushi roll. After many hours and many days of searching, he came upon a small wooden sign. And he walked up to the sign, and he read it. "These torii gates lead to Winding Mountain Shrine, Sanctuary of Izanagi, Kami of Creation." And he wondered to himself, how is it that something with a picture like that said all of those things? But he didn't question it, because the only thing that was really on his mind was finding his sushi roll. And he thought, well, perhaps I shall scale this mountain and see if I can see it from up there, because I mean it's a beautiful, beautiful game, and you know, why not? Some little child left a toy on this tree, I see, but it's not my sushi roll, so whatever. Perhaps these people were hung for stealing someone else's sushi roll, and also I lack the item necessary to get up here, so fuck this place. He searched the quiet basin hot spring, yet still there was no sign of his sushi roll. He even walked the fabled white grass lands of the Kyoshi region, and still there was no sign of his sushi roll. He did, on the other hand, see a flower, and he figured, you know, I mean, I'm already here, so I might as well pick it up. I mean, it's cool, but, you know, I really wanted to find my sushi roll. He was searching through the woods when in front of him he saw a young buck, and he thought, maybe it stole my sushi roll. So he took out his arrow and he shot it in the face. And he ran to it. Then when he got there, he realized that it did not have it. And also, for some reason, he couldn't even skin the damn thing or anything, and it was kind of like, well, what a waste of my freaking time. And then he saw some more flowers, so he picked them, and then he was a little happier about that, but he still didn't find his sushi roll, so the quest continues. So one of the local people had told the samurai of a wise old woman who lived at the inn in the Hiyoshi hot spring, and that perhaps she could tell the samurai where he could find his lost sushi roll. So the samurai made his way to this inn to ask the old woman for himself. And he found her and he said, "Hey, you, old woman. Hi, how are you? I have heard tale that you are very wise and that you know things about the land, and I was wondering if you could help me. I have lost my sushi roll." And so, the woman began to tell him stories about her grandchildren and how, you know, the house was not being maintained properly and how things were falling apart and how her kids left her in this home and she hadn't seen them in a very long time. So about 4 hours later, when the samurai just walked away from the old lady because he was getting so tired of hearing her blather incessantly, he decided to go back in and ask her one last time. And he walked in and he said, "Look, lady, I don't have much time. All I want to know is if you have heard anyone talking about where they may have found or smelled the tastiest sushi roll in the entire world." And the old woman said, "Yes, I have heard stories of a very stinky, kind of almost rotten tuna-smelling sushi roll that someone had found, and as a matter of fact, I have heard that there was a band of Mongol invaders that had set up a stronghold, and they had taken it to this stronghold, and if you'll take out your map, I will point to it so that you will know where it is." And so the man took out his map, and the lady said, "It is right here, northwest of where we currently are." And the man looked down and said, that's like southwest, 'cause, I mean, we're here, but whatever. Anyway, so it dawned on the man that this Mongol stronghold shall be well defended, and he must train before he can take on these men and retrieve his delicious sushi roll. And so his training started. First he thought, "I will just pull out my sword and chop down some bamboo." But unfortunately, his skills were not honed, and he could not seem to cut down a single bamboo tree. So he decided to try some more unorthodox techniques. He did the most strenuous training you've ever seen. I mean, like, things no one else would even think of. I mean, look at this. If you did this for 4 hours straight, I guarantee you would have, like, calves of steel. And he did this for so long and strengthened his leg muscles to the point where he could kick men far across the land. He even learned new abilities like harnessing the power of the wind. No one actually knew where this wind came from, but it was a very, very powerful ability. Finally, his training was complete, and he felt confident that he could take on the Mongolian stronghold. He was also hoping that, you know, I mean, even though he was looking for his sushi roll, he's always heard of, like, Mongolian beef and stuff, and he thought, you know, I mean, my sushi roll sounds good, but, you know, a little Mongolian beef with that, I mean, that sounds very, very tasty. And on his long journey to the camp to find his lost sushi roll, he kind of kept on thinking about Mongolian beef at the same time. After days of travel he had finally come to the stronghold he was told about. And he knew his sushi roll was in there. But the only way he was getting to it was to kill every Mongolian in there.
Challenge me!
And so the Mongolians died by his blade. But he was not done. There were more of them to fight still. And he realized he had no arrows, and he was like, oh shit. He searched in the tents, but it did not smell like stinky tuna sushi roll. So he moved on. It also occurred to him that there were possibly a lot of enemies in here, and this might be quite difficult. Also, they were coming this way, and it was not good. Fought like he had never fought before, knowing that his sushi roll could be within grasp at any moment. And so he started his search. Was his sushi roll in here? No, it was not. Also, I don't know what that is. I think it's incense. But anyway. And he noticed that there were some arrows here, so he picked them up. And some iron, which is nice for upgrading his sword. He probably should have done that before he came here, but whatever. And he saw that he could open the door, but he said, I don't use doors. I like to make holes in them. And then someone saw him, and he was like, oh, there's more of you, huh? And so once again, he fought like the fiercest warrior in all the land. And these archer guys really started to piss him off when they were trying to shoot him with arrows, so he typically tried to take them out first. And then he found it. The king's quarters, and he said, this must be where my sushi roll has laid. And he said, you, good sir, have you seen a sushi roll in these parts? But the man did not speak. And so he came over to this, and he said, it's just iron and a banner, and he's not very happy. And then this guy came in and tried to fight him. He said, you know, really don't have time for this right now, sir. I'm on a very important mission. And so the man died, and the samurai went about his ways. He picked up the other piece of iron because it was right there, and he just figured why not. And then some other asshole looked at him, and he had to fight him as well. And then some damn dog started fighting as well, so he threw a bomb at one's face and started hitting the other one, but it bit his arm, and he really does not like dogs, okay? And this guy said, I want to fight you too. Kicked him into the air and whooped his ass. And I don't even know where this guy came from, but he's dead as well. And this guy's struggling over here. Let's end his suffering. I've never seen that before, so yes, sure. Was something supposed to happen when you did that? Okay, here they come. I don't like dogs. They're very annoying in this game. That one's on fire that's running at me. Stop it. I don't like you. Okay. Now, I can proceed my search for my sushi roll. And then he found it. The chest. It had the smell of the stinky, stinky tuna from his sushi roll. And also, there were supplies there, so he grabbed those. And then there were more supplies. So, he prayed to himself, please, God, tell me my sushi roll is in here. And he opened it. And all he found were 2 sticky bombs, and he was very, very pissed off. And then he realized that his sushi roll had been cooked in here, and it had been eaten. And suddenly a great sadness overcame him, and he realized that his quest was over. But on the plus side, as you can see, he found some Mongolian beef. Oh yes, so nice, so tasty.